what's up, buddy? It's Dave, and today we are in chapter 27 of the New Testament, book of Matthew, for those of you that have been following along, and we've got one more chapter after today, and then we'll have Matthew finished up. So today we're going to talk about the remorse and death of Judas. Jesus appears before Pilate, the crucifixion of Jesus, Jesus' death on the cross, Jesus buried in Joseph's tomb, and setting a watch. There are 66 verses in today's chapter. So today we're going to read out of the King James Version. So if you have your Bible, go ahead and grab it. If you don't, remember you can always look it up on Bible.com or the YouVersion app, which is actually provided by Bible.com. So, all right, and thank you all for watching. We appreciate it. We're almost done with the book of Matthew. One more chapter after today, and then we'll move on into Mark. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. The remorse and death of Judas. When the morning was come, the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. And when they had bound him, they led him away, and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself, and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, What is that to us? See thou to that. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple, and departed, and went and hanged himself. And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, It is not lawful for us to put them into the treasury, because it is the price of blood. And they took counsel, and bought with them the potter's field, to bury strangers in. Wherefore that field was called the field of blood unto this day. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophet, saying, And they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him that was valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value, and gave them for the potter's field, as the Lord appointed me. Jesus appears before Pilate. And Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, Art thou king of the Jews? And Jesus said unto him, Thou sayest it. And when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. Then Pilate said unto him, Hearest thou not how many things they witness against thee? And he answered him to never a word, insomuch that the governor marveled greatly. Now at that feast the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner, whom they would. And they had then a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, Who will ye that I release unto you, Barabbas, or Jesus, which is called Christ? For he knew that the envy they had delivered him. When he was set down on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, Have thou nothing to do with that just man? For I have just suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. But the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas, and destroy Jesus. The governor answered and said unto them, Whether of the twain will ye that I release unto you? They said, Barabbas. Pilate said unto them, What shall I do then with Jesus, which is called the Christ? They said unto him, Let him be crucified. And when Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See ye to it. Then answered all the people and said, His blood be on us and our children. Then released he Barabbas unto them, and when he had scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified. Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the common hall, and gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers. And they stripped him, and put on him a scarlet robe. And when they had platted a crown of thorns, they put it upon his head, and a reed in his right hand. And they bowed the knee before him, and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews! And they spat upon him, and took the reed, and smote him on the head. And after that they mocked him. They took the robe from him, put on his own raiment on him, and led him away to crucify him. The crucifixion of Jesus. And as they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. Him they compelled to bear his cross. And when they were come into a place called Golgotha, that is to say, a place of a skull, they gave him vinegar to drink, mingled with gall. And when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. And they crucified him, and parted his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots. And sitting down, they watched him there, and set up over his head his accusation written, This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. Then there were 2 thieves crucified with him, one on the right hand and another on the left. And they that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads, and saying, Thou that destroyest the temple, and buildest it in 3 days, save thyself. If thou be the Son of God, come down from the cross. Likewise also the chief priests mocking him. And the scribes and elders said, He saved others, he cannot save himself. If this be the King of Israel, let him now come down from the cross, and we will believe him. He trusted in God, let him deliver him now, if he will have him. For he said, I am the Son of God. The thieves also, which were crucified with him, cast the same in his teeth. Jesus' death on the cross. Now, from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, that is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Some of them that stood there, when they heard that, said, This man calleth for Elias. And straightway one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him a drink. The rest said, Let be, let us see whether Elias will come and save him. Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent, and the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept rose. And out of the graves, after his resurrection, went into the holy city, and appeared unto many. Now when the centurion and they that were with him, watching Jesus, saw the earthquake, and those things that were done, they feared greatly, saying, Truly this was the Son of God. And many women who were there, beholding afar off, which followed Jesus from Galilee, ministering unto him. Among them was Mary Magdalene, and Mary the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of Zebedee's children. Jesus buried in Joseph's tomb. When the even was come, there came a rich man from Arimathea, named Joseph, who also himself was Jesus' disciple. He went to Pilate and begged the body of Jesus. Then Pilate commanded that the body be delivered. And when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in clean linen cloth, and laid it in his own tomb, which had been hewn out in the rock, and he rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulchre, and departed. And there was Mary Magdalene and the other Mary sitting over against the sepulchre, setting a watch. Now the next day that followed the day of the preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees came together unto Pilate, saying, Sir, we remember that the deceiver said while he was yet alive, After 3 days I will rise again. Command therefore that the sepulchre be made sure until the 3rd day, lest his disciples come by night and steal him away, and say unto the people, He is risen from the dead. So the last error shall be worse than the first. Pilate said unto them, Ye have a watch, go your way, make sure it is as ye can. So they went and made the sepulchre sure, sealing with a stone, and setting watch. So, one thing I've always kind of curious about is they talked about earlier in here that people would rise, but before, I forget exactly what it said in there. I'll have to go back and read it. But verse 52 talks about after the earth quaked and the temple shook and the rent was rent in twain from top to bottom, the veil where it was ripped. So, but 52 says, and the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose. So I think that was and came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city, and appeared unto many. That's 52 and 53. So people actually rose from the grave when Jesus finally gave up the ghost. I gotta do some more research into that. Sounds interesting. So, because we're talking about the second coming, maybe that was the first coming. I'm not sure. Here again, I am just a disciple trying to learn and share the gospel. So, all right. Tomorrow should be the last day of the book of Matthew. We hope that you've enjoyed it. If so, smash those thumbs up buttons on Facebook and on YouTube. And then if you haven't subscribed to us already, we would appreciate it if you do that. I think we're up to 283 subscribers now, which is pretty cool. 283 turned 84, something like that. It'd be cool if we could get to 500, wouldn't it? All right, if you like these videos, make sure that you share them as well. Let people know about them. All right? You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I know it's 11 minutes and 33 seconds long so far, but it's worth it. God bless. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Dave. I just want to do a real quick thank you. Appreciate you watching our videos. If you've noticed, we've mentioned a couple of things that you can purchase. We are Amazon affiliates, so if you check out the links below, there's a few links there depending upon the video that you're watching. So if you purchase something through there, we get a small commission at no additional cost to you. So if you would like to support this channel, that's definitely one way that you can do it. We also have our website, EverDave.com, and then ByFaithClothing.com, which is this shirt that we're wearing here. So, and then we have our YouTube channel that you're watching now, and then we have our book of poetry, which we have links to that down below as well. So thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We appreciate your support. As always, thank you. God bless.